Okay, we're going to change the brake cable out because it's about to snap off right here, right at the straddle cable, unfortunately. But it's been time to change it out anyway because if you could tell, I have been brutalizing this cable. This cable is so... I can't believe it. I haven't snapped it already, to be honest. So, yeah. So we're going to change this cable out. I'm going to have some simple tools. Cable cutter. Specifically a bike cable cutter. You can use other cable cutters, but I highly recommend using the bike cable cutter because it makes them really clean. We got a simple cable from Walmart. We got some 3-in-1 to oil the brake cable. And then just crescent wrenches. Okay, so we have our tools laid out. I think that's about everything you really need. A couple crescent wrenches, got the bike. We'll go into the cable and see. It's just starting to fray. It's about to snap. You can't really tell right now, but yeah, it's about to snap off. There's only a couple strands. So that's a lifesaver right here. 3-in-1 makes your brakes feel like butter. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so first off, we're going to undo this. Now the straddle cable's starting to snap too. Oh, stuff. I'm gonna adjust, I don't know what this one's called. Straddle cable adjuster, I guess. I'm using a kryptonite brake thing. Or actually, this is a cable. This was a bike lock Velcro thing, and I'm just using it as a temporary cable holder thing. Cut this tape off that was holding my cable. Adjust this so we can take it off. I'm also using another bike lock thing. Or I think it's a bike lock thing anyway. But it's another Velcro strap thing. I use that and tape. Because the one thing I will say is if you're starting to get into flatland and you don't have the parts for the gyro, which I should be running a gyro right now, but I just don't have the correct parts to run it, and I would run a London mod. If you can get the London mod, that's the best thing to get because you can use straight cables to keep it. If you break something, you can just use a straight cable to fix it. Whereas if you don't have the London mod, you have to continually, if you break a cable, you have to buy a whole new cable. Okay, got this one up in here. Off. Hopefully one of these cables works. This one. Honestly. yeah, that's why I don't think I was using this one. It's too thick. Okay, so that's also another thing. I'm not using a normal brake cable because I'm running, so here's the weird thing, is that I want my bars as low as possible. I should just run littler bars, but I don't really have any at the moment that are long enough that I like. So I flip my stem upside down. A lot of people say, oh, why are you running your stem upside down? Well, I'm running my stem upside down because I don't want to run my seat like this high. So I want it as low as possible because that's a really high seat post, to be honest. And the problem is I think that's why I'm not using a normal brake cable, is because if you see this little gap right here, this is where my cable keeps getting messed up, is because I keep smashing my cable right there. But use a shifter cable, it actually has just enough room, and I actually probably should run like one spacer under here. Probably would help out a lot. Which actually, you know what, I actually might do that. Now I think about it, we might actually do that. Huh. Oh, wait a minute. I'd have to take off my front brake cable to get it down in there. And that would suck. Oh, maybe not. I could undo this, undo one of these, cut one of those off. We actually might do that, actually. Just to, because I keep messing up these cables, man. So we actually might do that as well. And I kind of actually want to test something out, too. Actually, let's see. Is this one shorter than these ones? No, they're about the same size, I think. I might use this, though. No, I don't want to cut this one up. I was going to cut one of these. Okay, well, I guess we're going to have I'm not sure if this is actually going to work, but I think we might be able to get it to work. Oh, you know what? I don't know. I think it's just going to be too much work. Because the problem is if you're running a front brake cable, in order to put more spacers in your stem, you have to undo this entire cable and then you could have the spacers out. But I have seen somebody, they made a hack into what they do is they take one of these spacers, they get a hacksaw and they cut a little slot out so you could fit a cable in there, and then you could just fit a cable in there and then get it going again. I was thinking I might actually do that because my cable keeps getting smashed in there. So what I actually might do is I might just file this down a little bit more. So I think that's actually what I'm going to do. Sounds a little cringy to file down a very good stem, but I need to adjust this somehow. So that's what we're going to do prior to all this stuff that I'm about to do. So for those out there that are maybe running their stem upside down to keep your bars as low as possible, and your cable, if you're using a straight cable and it keeps getting smashed, what you might want to do is just file this down, which is what I'm going to do right now. It's a good cult stem, but you know what? We need to modify it a little bit, so stop messing up my cables. And I don't actually, probably shouldn't be doing this because it's going to probably make your parts a little weaker, but I haven't really been doing massive airs or whatever, so it's not like I'm gonna, go crazy on this. And right now I'm just kind of smoothing this out and also just trying to maybe take off just a little bit more of this top part. Modified Colt stem. Let's see if I made any more room. I think I should. See, that's why I'm filing this down, just to make a little bit more room right there. Which I think that's the area where it's cutting my cable. It's actually part of my frame. Probably seems ridiculous how I'm doing this, but if you, I don't know. If you do it, if you figure it out, it'll start messing up your cables. So. That might help to save my cable housing. Take a closer look. Just smoothing it out, smoothing it out. Okay, so we got that going a little bit more. Let's see if we can adjust that. Probably nobody runs their bike like this, but oh well. I think I might even, now I don't recommend this, but I might even file my frame down just a little bit, just to make that smooth. Just there's just a little edge right there, so I'm gonna just like this a little bit, because this is actually where you crack your frame a lot, so I'm not doing it that much. Just making it this little ring thing smooth. Okay, let's see here. Okay, now we take our old cable. Actually, I need to get one more tool. I don't know where it is, but I can find it. So I think what I was going to do as well is I was going to make my cable a little bit longer. And my camera keeps messing up on me, doesn't it? I just noticed it was like leaned to the side. Oh well. Okay, so let's see here. There. Then we're going to undo our straddle cable thing. And also we're going to try and save these NARPs. Because many times you can reuse these NARPs. And when you buy a fresh pack of cables, they only come with so many. They should come with like 10 of these things instead of like 2. Maybe it's a marketing ploy for them. Okay, so we're going to loosen this thing up, and I'll show you, actually I'll just show the camera right now why I'm doing it, because if you could see, I don't know why it's not focusing. There we go. Anything about to snap off. Look, I only have a little bit left. The brakes are starting not to work. I was like, actually, I've been wondering that lately. I've been wondering, like, why is my brakes like feeling mushy? This thing's about to snap, man. About to blow. And look at how bent that cable is. That's because of my stem, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I guess I don't need to cut this thing. I actually have to buy another one pretty soon here. And we are using not a normal brake cable. This is actually a shifter cable, I think. They're weaker. So I will say, if you're a park rider or you're doing like some massive foofs and stuff, probably wouldn't recommend this, using a shifter cable. But because I'm riding just flat, I can kind of get away with, I don't know, a little bit weaker parts for just things that I need to get done on my flat bike. Okay, so what I was going to do is I was actually going to lengthen this thing out maybe about, like right there. Maybe I could do 4 or 5 fire hydrants now. Okay, so what we're going to do, let me just mark this out right there. I'm going to cut this cable off right here. Mark thing, cable ending thing, and then you want to take your cable completely out. We have our cable now, and actually I kind of forgot, is this the side that I needed to cut? Yeah, it is. This cable might be like super long, but well, it's okay. It might not even work, actually. So we're going to cut it right here. Boom. And if you cut it with this thing, you want to try and do it fast, because if you don't do it fast, it starts like splaying out the insides. And this is a linear cable. I don't know when they started doing these, but I remember that they used to not use linear cables in Walmart. And this is a Walmart cable right here. And I did have a little nail. What I did with it? Oh, here it is. So, here's another thing why I have a nail, or you can use an awl. This is actually one part of the cable thing that I see a lot of people get frustrated, and they're like, oh, like, I cut my cable and now it's not working, and then, well, there's actually 3 layers in this brake cable. There's actually, I think 4. Or no, there's 3. There's the black housing, there's the mini cables, which is like the metal part, and then there's an inner housing that's plastic. And what you need to do is you need to have like a little nail or something that you can, because it gets smashed, that inner part gets smashed. So if you can get something to open that inner part out again, and actually I probably shouldn't be using this thing, I should probably be using something else, but sometimes you can poke it through with the cable again, but sometimes you can't, so just be wary. Oh, dude, I just messed up the cable. Oh, well. Almost messed up the cable. And I did. Darn. See, that's why you don't do it that way. Well, I just totally messed that cable up. For some reason this nail wasn't going through there. Well, let's see if I have another one. Why did I do that? And that's why you don't do it with the cable. I haven't done it in a while. I kind of thought that I could get away with it. Guess not. I think it'll be okay. Cut some of this off. Wow, I can't believe I did that, man. That was a bad move on my part. Really bad move. But I think that's actually something a lot of people do, because I kind of forgot that that's what happens. If you don't do the awl thing, and you just try and poke it through with the cable, it frays your cable at the end. Okay, so we got this one going. I'm gonna take this cable out now. Actually, we need to use one of these things. Cut this part off, the frayed end. And which is the end that comes off. One of these is supposed to come off. Okay, it's that one. Put that one on this one. Boom. Okay. Is this cable long enough? It should be. I shouldn't have cut it that way too. I've been messing up. Today, man. I have been messing up today. Oh well, this is a good one, because that was a rookie mistake of me, trying to poke my cable through a crushed cable housing. And I even bent the cable too right there, so that's even going to be, and every single bend you have in the cable, it's a little bit of a, you're going to feel it later on. A little bit. And it's kind of making me wonder if I have another cable. Just because of that. Oh, I do. Sweet. Thank goodness. I have another one that's actually good. kind of forgot I had this one. Okay, so unfortunately, I made a bad mistake using that one, and I want my brakes to feel good, so we're gonna have to use this one now. It's okay though. Which end was I using? Okay, we're using this end. Okay, now we can go into this one again. And so, I think people do this differently, but this is how I do it anyway. Put this maybe as a side. And we're about halfway. I should have cut this cable down even shorter, but okay, about right here. We're going to start on top of the paper towel so you don't get oil everywhere. I'm going to start putting oil on the cable. Pushing it down a little bit. And one on this side. Is it hitting this? It is. There we go. Okay. Got a little bit of oil on the ground, but it's okay. You can also put the oil in after, but I just like to do this as another way to kind of get the cable oiled up. Okay, we're going to cut off some of this excess because we don't need that much, but we do need a good amount just to have some leeway room. Okay, so then we're going to put it on. Now this cable is actually ridiculously long now. I don't know if I should actually run out of this. Because it's ridiculously long now. It might be absurdly long now. But it might make me do 4 or 5 hydrants, so. Just need to see what it, okay, yeah, that'll still work. Yeah. Pretty sure it will. Alright. That should still work. Let's go! Where's my straddle cable at? Oh wait, I forgot. The straddle cable connects right there. Okay, okay, here's this thing. Whoop. listening to copyright-free tavern music. So. Yeah, this cable's gonna be super long. Well, that's probably max. We should be running that. Good work. Okay, so now we have the straddle cable part. This. Cut this down a little bit more. That's okay. We don't have to. Now, the one thing about the straddle cable thing is that you don't want to crank it down at first, because when you crank it down, you can, every time you crank this down, you fray the cables a little bit. So, and to adjust it to find the right level, you kind of want to get it right at that right peak. Just did a little bit. See if this thing can hold. Oh, dude, these pictures are really good. So you can adjust it a little bit more. Just finding that slack area, you know, so you can kind of tell. So we can push it up maybe another inch. Too much or too little? Maybe just a little bit less. Let's see if I pull that all the way down. Oh yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. So we can crank it down now. Don't crank it down too much, but once you find that good level, now you can kind of get that, kind of tighten it down a bit more, but just not completely crazy tight. And then just to end it off, we're going to just bend this down. Bend that down, and then we're going to cut it off like maybe like right there, so we have some leeway room to adjust it if need be. And then if we take our NARP, we can reuse it. So we're gonna reuse this old NARP. Use the NARPer thing on our brake cable housing thing, cutter. Boom. Probably use it like 3 times. Reuse them 3 times. Good. And we just fixed our brakes. Now let's see how the filing. Let's see the filing job that we did. Just quickly put one of these things on just to see how it's done. Okay, that seems pretty good. Oh, the cable's starting to get caught up. Might get tangled. I want to even cut that down a little bit more, huh? I guess if I tape it right there, then it won't be as gnarly looking. Okay then. This thing on. Boom. That's how you fix the brakes if you messed up your brake cable. Some little bits of maneuvers, test that. Works way better. I guess the ultimate test is doing a decade, seeing if they work. Oh yeah, they're solid. It is solid. Pretty happy with it.